Today I want to share with you a quick start guide for the ONE X2. So I will show you how to set it up and how you can film your first reframed 360 video and edit it using the Insta360 app, ready to upload onto social media. And I'll also throw in some tips and tricks along the way. So let's get started. Once you get your ONE X2, open up the box and take out the camera. Take out all the plastic packaging around it and make sure not to put the lenses down on a hard surface because it will scratch your lens. My surface is cloth, so I can put it down, it will not scratch. And the next thing you're going to do is charge your ONE X2 camera. So in this white box, take out the USB-C cable, which is in here. Now, if you don't have a soft surface, take out the ONE X2 pouch and rest the lens on top of the pouch so it does not scratch. Another good way to keep your ONE X2 lenses protected is by getting the lens cap from the Insta360 store, which costs £5. To charge your ONE X2, open up the USB-C port over here and then get the cable out of this box. Plug the cable into your ONE X2 and put this into a USB plug and leave it to charge. While it's charging, it will be red, and when it turns off, it will be fully charged. The next step is to insert your micro SD card. So to do this, open these two clips with 2 fingers and then the battery will pop out. Then get your micro SD card and slot it in over here and push it in until it clicks into place. Then get your battery and insert it and push it in. And you need to make sure that there is no orange color showing over here, here and here, because that means your ONE X2 is not shot properly and is not waterproof. So make sure to push it in so there is no orange color. If you do need to wipe off any dust or dirt from your ONE X2 lenses, then use the provided lens cloth in the ONE X2 box and gently rub around your lens. Don't use anything like a tissue or a towel, because this material is less likely to do any harm to your ONE X2 lenses. Whatever you do, do not put the ONE X2 on a small and light monopod like you see over here. This will very easily get blown over by the wind and you'll have to repair or replace your ONE X2 altogether. So make sure you get a proper monopod with a wide base and a heavy counterweight so your camera is less likely to get blown over by the wind. This is the Best 360 monopod. It's made by myself and I use this all the time when I'm out filming. So I either use the selfie stick by itself or as a monopod, which you see over here. So you can check this out on best360.shop, and anything you buy from the shop will help support me run this channel. So if you are considering the Best 360 monopod, thank you so much in advance for supporting me. Now let's turn on the ONE X2 and set the best settings. To turn on your ONE X2, press the power button on the side. And when it boots up, this is your user interface. So at the top you have your battery, so you can see it's full at the moment. And here it says 5 hours, 23 minutes. So this is how much 5.7K 30 frames per second video I can film on my 256 gig micro SD card. I can tap and drag this around to look around my 360 video so I can preview it before I start recording to check exposure. Over here it says 360, so I know I am recording 360 video. If I tap this, then it will change to 150 degree. So this is a brand new mode which records with one lens only. So you can record with either the front lens or the back lens. And I will tap 150 again to change back into 360 degree mode. So let's go through some settings you can change on the ONE X2. So I will drag down from the top of the screen. Here is the brightness icon. So you can change how bright the screen is so you can see it better in daylight. You can set it to 100%. This is screen lock. So if you don't want any accidental touches on your ONE X2 whilst you're filming, you can lock the screen. This is LED light on, so I can tap it to switch it off over here. And you'll want to switch off the LED when you're doing a nighttime lapse so the blue light does not leak into your video. This is quick capture, so when the ONE X2 is off, you can tap this button over here to boot up the ONE X2 and start a video recording. And if I swipe to the left, there are more options. In this option, you can connect your AirPods. In this option, you can select your audio. You can select 360 direction focus, which is best when you are indoors, or you can select wind reduction to reduce the amount of wind noise when you are outdoor. This is voice control, so instead of pressing this button to start a video recording, you can instead say start recording and the ONE X2 will begin a recording, and then when you want to stop the recording, you just need to say stop recording and the ONE X2 will automatically stop recording. So then you don't need to tap this shutter button to start and stop recording. There are more settings in this settings menu. So in general, in USB mode, you can select whether you want to connect your ONE X2 to your computer, or you can change it to webcam mode, or you can connect it to your phone. In prompt sound, you can choose whether you want your ONE X2 to make a noise when you start and stop recording. In Bluetooth wake up, you can choose whether you want your GPS smart remote to wake up your ONE X2. If you don't have one, turn it off so your ONE X2 is not using battery while it's off. Auto power off gives you the option as to how long you want your ONE X2 to stay on before it automatically turns off. You can also set it to never if you want to. Anti-flicker depends on your region, so if you see that your lights are flickering, you can experiment with auto 50 or 60 to stop the lights from flickering in your video. Then you have the language of the camera, and you can do a gyro calibration if your video is bent. Bluetooth remote allows you to connect your GPS smart remote. Screen auto sleep allows you to choose when you want your screen to sleep. So let's say when your ONE X2 is idle, and whether you want your screen to auto sleep whilst you are recording. Voice control gives you the option to choose the language you want. SD card is very important because when you have a brand new micro SD card for the first time in the ONE X2, you need to format it so that the ONE X2 is happy with your micro SD card, and this will prevent any issues like insufficient speed error or randomly stopped recordings. Video encoding. If you want the best video quality possible, then select 360 cam and select H.265, select Steadicam and select H.265, and then you just have your general camera info. So that's all the settings. The two modes you are going to use the most is photo and video mode. So to select these modes, tap the video icon over here. Now you can select your photo or video mode. And the photo mode you are going to use the most is the standard photo mode. And the video mode you are going to use the most is the standard video mode. So let's go through the video settings. Tap 5.7K 30 over here. If you want the highest quality video possible, then make sure 5.7K 30 frames per second is selected. Swipe left from the right of the screen, and this is where you set your exposure settings. And it's these settings which can make the difference between a high quality video and a blurry video. Now, if you are new to video, then I recommend you start off with auto settings. So set auto over here, go down to the exposure option. Now, exposure is how bright or how dark your video is, and usually it will start off at 0. Now, if it's very cloudy outside, I actually want to make my video a little bit brighter, so I usually set my exposure to plus 0.5, and when it's very sunny outside, I want to make my video a little bit darker because the ONE X2 tends to make the video a bit too bright. So then I would select minus 0.5, and then anything in between I would just set at 0. White balance is the color temperature of your video. So if you go towards 2700, your video will become more blue, and if you go towards 7500, your video will become more orange. The best way to choose your white balance is just to go through each option and choose the white balance which looks most natural to you. So at 2700 you can see it looks too blue, and at 7500 you can see it looks too orange. But if I bring it down to 5000K, you can see the footage looks white overall. So I will stick to my white balance being 5000K, which is also known as a daylight white balance. And the last option is color profiles. Now, if you are new to video, then I recommend that you choose the vivid color profile because this will give you the best looking colors on the ONE X2, and it's the easiest to grade in post as well. Now, if you are a bit more experienced in video, then you can use manual exposure settings. So go to the top and select manual exposure, and this is where you can set your shutter speed and your ISO to give you more control over your video. If you are a beginner and you want to learn how to use manual exposure settings to get the best video quality possible, then I highly recommend you check out my video, How to Avoid Blurry Video in Low Light, and I'll leave a link to that video in the video description. The last thing you need to know is when you swipe right from the left of the screen, this is where you can see all the videos and photos that you've taken. To connect your ONE X2 to the Insta360 app is really simple. First, make sure that your ONE X2 is on, and then on your phone, enable the Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth, and then on the album tab, go to this camera icon over here and tap it, and the connection process will begin, and eventually the ONE X2 and the Insta360 app will connect. So here it says connected. Finally, that's all the setup done on the ONE X2, and now I want to help you film a tiny planet video and show you how to edit it on the Insta360 app so you can make a video which looks like this. First of all, go outside to a nice open area with your ONE X2 and your favorite selfie stick. Turn on your ONE X2 and switch the mode to standard video mode and select it. Make sure it says 360 over here so you know you are filming a 360-degree video. Tap the resolution and frame rate and make sure 5.7K 30 frames is selected for the highest video quality possible. Tap the tick to confirm, and then just tap and drag around and look around your 360 video to see how bright or dark your video is. Then swipe left from the right of the screen and set auto exposure mode. Then go down to your exposure. If your video is too dark because it is cloudy, then set your exposure to +0.5. If it's really sunny outside, then set your exposure to -0.5. And if it's somewhere in between, then set your exposure to 0. Go to white balance and just set it to auto. And then go to your color profile and set it to vivid. So now all your settings are set. You can now press record to start filming. Fully extend the selfie stick in front of you and rest your arm by your side so it looks natural on camera, and keep the ONE X2 almost eye level, then just walk for 10 seconds very slowly and then stop the recording. Next, you are going to edit your ONE X2 footage on the Insta360 app. To edit ONE X2 videos on the Insta360 app, we first need to connect them. So on your phone, turn on the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and then on the Insta360 app, go to the album tab and tap, or sometimes it will just connect automatically, but if it did not connect, then just tap this camera icon in the top left hand corner and the ONE X2 and the Insta360 app will automatically connect. To see all your videos and photos stored on the ONE X2, tap the camera tab, and over here you can see my walk-in shot. There are a few ways to edit this walk-in shot. So I can either just leave this video on the ONE X2 and edit this video directly off the ONE X2 while it's on, or I can choose to download this video to my phone storage and then I can turn off the ONE X2. I much prefer the second way, so I will download this video. So to do this, I will tap this select icon, tap the video I wish to download and tap the download button. I'll wait for this download to finish and then I can turn off the ONE X2 and start editing this video on my phone. So now that the download has finished, you can turn off the ONE X2, go to your local tab to see all the videos and photos stored on your phone, tap the walk-in shot, and now we can begin editing it. To look around your 360 video, just swipe around the screen and you can look in all directions. The first thing you need to do to edit this video is trim down your shot to a 10-second video. So to do this, tap the trim icon and then go to the part of the video when you start walking. So for me it's about here. Then tap the scissor icon. So this is where you want your video to begin. This highlighted part is the part of the video you want to keep, and this is the duration of the highlighted part. So since we want a 10-second shot, I'm going to scroll forward until it's 10 seconds long, which is about here. And I'll tap the scissor icon and tap the tick to confirm. So now I have a 10-second shot. The next thing you need to do is decide which aspect ratio you want your video to be. So right now it's a 9:16 format. And if I tap ratio, it will change to a 16:9, which is good for YouTube. Or you can have a 1:1, which is good for your Facebook or Instagram feed, or a cinematic ratio. I'm going to go for a 1:1. And now the next step is to reframe your 360 video. So you need to choose which view you want to show your audience. Do you want to show yourself? Do you want to show the muddy floor? Do you want to show the side, the sky, the sun, etc.? So to do this, you need to add pivot points. Pivot points basically tell the app, at this point in time, this is the view I want to show my audience. So I'm going to go to the beginning of my video. And at the beginning of my video, I want to start off looking at the floor. And I'll add a pivot point here. And I want to get rid of this fisheye distortion and zoom in. So I'm going to select the linear view. And then 2 seconds later, I want to bring the view up to reveal myself over here and add a pivot point and change the view to wide to reveal the beautiful landscape around me. So now we have a pivot point at the beginning of the video looking at the floor and a pivot point 2 seconds later looking at myself. So if I play this back, you now have a reveal shot. So for the next 2 seconds after this pivot point, I want to maintain this shot, so just looking at myself. So I'll just make sure I'm in the middle and add a pivot point here. And then over the next 2 seconds, I want to turn this video into a tiny planet. So to do this, I'm going to look down 90 degrees at the bottom of my video, add a pivot point here, tap the tiny planet button, and you now have a tiny planet video. So if I play this back, you have a reveal shot, then you see yourself walking for 2 seconds, and then it turns into a tiny planet video. If you want to color grade your video, then go to the filter tab, and then you can select any one of these color presets. I personally prefer the A4 color preset at about 50% intensity, and this gives a nice tint to the blue color, and you can tap the tick to confirm. Then if you want to add music, tap the music tab, and you can add any of this music provided by Insta360. If you want to add your own music, then tap the local button. If you want to edit this music, so if you want to choose when the music should begin, you can do so over here just by dragging it. And if you want to mix the music 100% with the original sound from the video, then you can do so over here. So now the music will play 100% and you won't hear any audio from the original video clip. And then you can tap the tick to confirm. The final step is now to export your video ready for social media. So to export your video with the highest quality possible, tap the export button, tap reframe video, and it will begin exporting. Now for the highest quality, tap quick export, tap the cogwheel icon, and make sure the highest resolution, bitrate, and frame rate is selected. Then go back tap Quick Export, tap Custom, and now your video will begin exporting with the highest quality possible. And that's it. That's it for this video. I hope you learned more about your ONE X2 and the basic workflow to film and edit a reframed 360 video using your phone. There's going to be plenty more cool ONE X2 tutorials to come, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss those videos, and I'll see you in the next one.